Hi, so today we're going to review the sandwich technique, and this is a way to integrate quotes or paraphrased ideas into your writing without plagiarizing. So this is called using the sandwich technique to borrow from writers or sources without plagiarizing. The essays we write in this class are academic, thesis-driven essays. This means we will borrow words and ideas from sources that we read, articles and books, to put into our own writing. We do this as academic college writers to support our thesis, to back up our opinion. Why do we use sources? Well, it's standard practice in college essay writing. Each body paragraph you write in this class will contain one or two borrowings from other sources. And we will use the sandwich technique to help us insert direct quotes or paraphrased ideas into our essay. So there are 4 parts. There is the top bun, lead-in, which is also called a lead-in or signal phrase, and often a brief summary that sets up the source for the reader. The meat, which is the quote or the paraphrased idea that you're actually borrowing. The cheese, which is the MLA in-text citation. And the bottom bun, which is the analysis, where you explain how the quote connects to your thesis. Part 1, the sandwich top bun. This is the lead-in, tag, or signal phrase, and it introduces the source to the reader. Gives the author's name, author's credentials, title, and a brief summary. Do not put a source in your writing without first introducing it to the reader. Here are some sample lead-ins. Author Paul Logan explains in his article 0, ... that's where the quote would go. So the lead-in comes before the quote. In Grit, researcher Angela Duckworth discusses. And the third example, psychologist Carol Dweck's article, Brainology, asserts. In each of these, we're giving the author's full name, the title of the article, and brief credentials about each author, meaning, for example, Carol Dweck is a psychologist, Angela Duckworth is a researcher, and Paul Logan is an author. This lets the reader know why their opinion matters. Then there's the meat. That's the quote or the paraphrased idea that you want to borrow to help support your thesis or the point you're discussing. We often use at least one quote or paraphrased idea in each body paragraph to support our thesis. So right now we have the lead-in, which introduces the quote or the paraphrase, and then the quote. And then comes what's called the cheese of the sandwich, part 3, which is the MLA in-text citation. This, along with the top bun, is what sandwiches what you're borrowing and helps us as writers to avoid plagiarism. So each citation has a parenthesis with the author's last name and the page number. If there is no author's name, such as in many online sources, then you would just put the article title in parentheses right after what you've borrowed. Part 4 is the bottom bun of the sandwich. This is the analysis or commentary where you explain to the reader how the source you just quoted or paraphrased supports your thesis. This is the most important and often most forgotten part of a sandwich. This is where you show your critical thinking skills as a writer and where you tie the pieces together for the reader. And this is an example of what a sandwich paragraph could look like. The first sentence in black at the top introduces the topic of the whole paragraph. It says, it looks like students who expend effort to learn end up further ahead than students who give up when learning gets difficult. As Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck points out in her article, Brainology, students tend to have either a fixed or a growth mindset. Her research reveals that students with a growth mindset understand that overcoming obstacles, learning from mistakes, and working through setbacks are the ticket to becoming smarter. Parentheses 17. So right there we have the first three parts of our sandwich. We've introduced Carol Dweck, Stanford psychologist. We've given her article title, Brainology, and a brief summary of what the article is about, that it's about fixed and growth mindset. That's in red if you're looking. So you've got your topic sentence in black, and then the introduction or lead-in to the quote or paraphrase, and then the section in blue which explains how students with a growth mindset are able to overcome obstacles, learn from mistakes, and work through setbacks. That's in blue. That's a paraphrase from the article. And so there's our meat, and then that's on page 17. Next in green is the bottom bun. Here's the analysis. And I'm signaling that with the phrase, in other words. In other words, students who are willing to work hard, even if they fail, sometimes will grow their brains and become more intelligent than students who give up when classes get challenging. If this is true, my goal is to adopt a growth mindset so I'm more likely to succeed in college. Notice again that we start and end the paragraph with a sentence that gives the main idea. So you've got a topic sentence or a point at the beginning and then a wrap-up sentence at the end. That's all there is to it. So now you can proceed with the rest of the lesson.